Today, I am joined by someone who absolutely demonstrates true growth, resilience, and absolute strength. They are constantly evolving into the best version of themselves. Gaby, 21 years old, a certified nursing student who recently just got their CNA certification. After balancing her full-time studies, she is now working hard to gain hands-on experience within her nursing career. With a commitment to learning and growing, Gaby is fully dedicated to make a positive impact in the healthcare field. This is Driving with Ananka. Let's dive into Gaby's story. What got you into nursing? Like, how did you know that you wanted to pursue nursing?
I think it started off sometime in middle school. I was still lost on what I wanted to do as a career for the rest of my life. But then in middle school, it just clicked because I really like science and anatomy. And I just feel like nursing is a perfect way to help people in a way that not everybody can do it. You have to put in your time and gain knowledge, and not everybody is going to be a nurse. So it's a very unique way to help people.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. I mean, so the thing is, you said that you knew that when you were younger. Did it ever change when you got older? You were kind of do I still want to pursue nursing? Was there any things or people that influenced your decision to get into nursing?
Okay, let's be honest. I started watching Grey's Anatomy, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to be a surgeon. And then once the years started passing by, and then I started doing my research on what it takes to be a surgeon or a doctor, it was a lot of school. And then I also felt like I wasn't capable of doing all of that because it's a lot of responsibility and you have to learn a lot of stuff. So then I'm like, okay, let's just do something a tiny bit less time consuming. So then I just thought of nursing. And then nursing has so many different fields or specialties that you can go into. So it's not like I just had to stick to being in a hospital setting. I can be, I don't know, in a plastic surgeon's office. I can be in pediatrics. I don't just have to stick to one area per se.
Okay, interesting. I mean, obviously, you said that Grey's Anatomy influenced your decision to becoming a nurse, and I mean that's really cool because I think especially healthcare now with everything that's kind of going on, that's really important to have workers that really care about healthcare and really care about people's health and even your own. So I think it's really important, to find a passion that you like, but also the fact is that you also want to help other people, which I think is really empowering because when you show up to work, you're able to help people, you're able to cure people, take care of people. So I think it's really cool. And obviously, nursing is not easy, as you were saying, because you have to go through lots of tests and exams. You kind of have to almost prove that you're able to become a nurse and you're able to deal with the responsibilities of being one. And talking about responsibilities, I mean, you were previously working on your CNA certification and you received it. So how did that process go? How did that even start? How was the journey of getting your certification for CNA like?
So it was maybe a 2-month course, I want to say. So it wasn't too long. And I actually took the Spanish version just to make it a little harder on myself. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't want to make it hard on myself. Those were just the only open classes at the time that I registered. So I took that and I really liked it because it really broadened my vocabulary with medical terms in Spanish. Because since I'm bilingual, they're going to put me to work as a bilingual. So I need to know. I don't know all the translation of medical terms to Spanish. So I really like that. That really, I feel way more prepared than I was. So we do all the practice with the teacher and learn all the fundamentals. And then we have to take the state exam, practical, and then 75 or 80 questions. And you have to pass. It's a pass or a fail. There's no in between. I passed it on my first try. And the practical, you have to perform 3 of the exercises, and you don't know before the test. It's like right there on the spot. Like you have to know, or else you're just gonna be like so lost. Then it was the questions, just like regular multiple choice. It was actually way easier than I thought it was gonna be, so I'm really happy about that. And then you just get your certification in the mail.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to apply for jobs. I have filled out so many applications, but it's actually pretty hard to get into that. So to even get that job, you have to like know people already in the hospital that you want to work at, or like in the clinic or something like that. So I'm not working as a CNA right now. But I just really like that I was able to learn what their job is for when I become a nurse. I can appreciate everything they do and already know from personal experience, like what things I would have to do and how to do them. So I don't see it as so I did this for nothing and I wasted my money, but I just see it as a personal gain.
For sure. I mean, obviously, you learned a lot of things within the 2 months, and I believe it was like a hefty, like, because you were studying a lot and like getting a lot of coursework done.
I was going to college in the daytime, and then at night, up until like 10 p.m., was the CNA course. So I was literally doing school Monday through Friday. 2 schools Monday through Friday.
That's crazy. And like as I was like kind of like talking about being a full-time student at the time and then balancing a CNA course, like obviously things got very stressful and very overwhelming because school already has its package, but I think especially when you're trying to pursue nursing or any type of like thing outside of school, it's going to get very overwhelming. Like when you found yourself in those circumstances of feeling overwhelmed and stressed, like how did you like overcome that during that time?
So for the CNA course, they heavily recommended you not to miss not even one day. One day was already too much because the teacher also has to sign off like, yes, I taught you all of these practice things, but she's like, if you miss like 2 days and I don't see that you redid it when you came back, I'm not going to sign off because you never did it. I never saw you. I never taught it to you. So I'm not going to lie and put my name on it that I taught you when I never did. And thank goodness everything went smoothly. I only missed like one day, but then my classmate showed me how to do it and the teacher saw it and she's like, okay, you're good. Like, you know what you're doing. Then I would just like tell myself, it's just, since it was just like a 2-month course, I'm like, I'm not going to be doing this forever. Like, I'm not going to be stressed out and like overworked for too long. So I just need to stick it through. And then definitely having the weekends off made me like recharge again.
I think I like what you said, that it's like, because it was only a 2-month course, but like it feels like it's been longer than 2 months because you're there every single day in the evenings till nighttime, like studying, learning, coursework. But I think like obviously after you finish everything, you obviously were like less stressed and you were happy because you're like, okay, like I finally did this. I'm so happy this is over. And at the same time, you're like, okay, it's over, but like I got so much out of what like I paid for, or like I got so much that I learned from it. So
I'm really glad I did it, even though I don't have a CNA job right now. But I really like to learn about all that stuff, and I just feel like I'm getting a step ahead of everybody in nursing school right now, because a lot of people don't have their CNA license when they're in nursing school because the workload is obviously a lot. So I feel like I'm just like one step ahead of everybody.
That's good. And like I think also like what's been like the I guess, like, the key motivator for you to, like, stay motivated? You know, because as you were saying previously, like, obviously it was hard because, you know, you're dealing with school and then doing the CNA coursework, and it's a lot. But, like, how did you deal with, like, finding the motivation to keep going?
Um, just better pay, honestly. Better pay
Mm-hmm.
and just gaining that experience that everyone asks for, and also wanting to make new connections
Mm-hmm.
just to get me, you know, to like a top hospital or like a top nursing program and just making my family proud.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what gave me my drive to do all of that.
Yeah, and I think it's really important, like, when you find, like, your drive to things, like, it honestly, it pushes you to do things, you know, because sometimes, like, people don't know they're wired, people don't know why they're doing something, they're just like, oh, I'm just here because I have to be here. But I think it's good that you're like, yeah, like, I'm here, I also paid for it, so I'm not gonna, like, waste,
Yeah.
you know, I paid for it. But also, like, you're like, I want to do this for my family, like, I want to, like, support my family, I want to be, like, successful. And so, like, it's really about, like, knowing why you're doing it, and that's obviously going to push you, and that's why, like, you pass this, you know, the certification. I remember it was when Gabby told me that she passed it, I was like, oh my gosh. And me and my mom, like,
Yeah.
didn't we take you out to eat?
You did.
We did.
Oh, yeah,
We
they
took
did.
Gabby out to eat because I was telling my mom about Gabby's certification, all that stuff. And, like, obviously, like, it's a lot because anything health related is a lot. It's a lot to learn and know. So, like, I feel like a lot of people don't get enough credit for, you know, learning anything health. And, like, even, like, health major students, whatever, like, it's a lot to learn and it's not easy. But, like, I remember when Gabby, when she passed it, we, like, took her out to eat, like, a couple days after, and we were like, congratulations, and stuff, because, like, it's hard. It is hard, but the fact that you, like, got it and, like, you got it over with and you passed it, like, that's really good. So
Yeah, I was so nervous.
mm-hmm.
And there were some of my classmates that they're home health aides. I don't really know if you guys know what that is, but that's basically a CNA, but CNAs are able to do more stuff than home health aides because home health aides are only allowed to work at a patient's home, and then CNAs can work anywhere, the home, hospital, clinics, like all that stuff. So they were home health aides, and they were in the CNA program, just talking about what they did, and then they wanted to become CNAs just to like expand their job opportunities. So it was a good insight of how the work was for them, and then them wanting to like kind of like switch over to a kind of like a more higher position, I guess. So that was very cool to like learn about.
Yeah, and I think, like, passing the CNA certification, the exam, you got everything. Like, I would assume that there's a lot of, like, self growth in the process of those 2 months because, like, not only are you studying, but you're also learning things about yourself. Like, oh, I didn't know I could digest all this knowledge really quickly, or I didn't know I had the type of motivation. Like, what's something in your self growth journey, whether it was getting your CNA or just, like, in general, that you realized, like, oh, I didn't know that I can do this before.
Funny enough, time management. Like, I suck at it when I don't try, but when I have like a set schedule, I'm really good. Like, I would study after, I would study on the weekends, and then I would go to school in the daytime, do all that homework, and like still have time for my personal life. So if I really try, I can manage my time pretty good.
Yeah.
So that's what I learned. And then another thing, I don't know, just exposing myself to more stuff. Because if I would have never walked in and like asked questions like, hey, what is this program about? How much does it cost? Like, what will I learn? Like, I would have never known. And where that program was located, my grandma lived there for like 10 years. I never knew that place was there until I did my research, went in, and just found out all the information. Yeah, and then I met really sweet ladies. They were all a little bit older, so I'm just like, they're like my grandmas and my aunts. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. And I think just also being a part of like a good environment allows you to also find, um, I guess you could say like a boost of self growth or like motivation, you know, because they always say like when you like are around people that, you know, want you to be successful or they want you to, you know, strive for good. I think it's really great that you not only were studying for your CNA, but you also were around the right people at the right time because like, you know, they're also there to study for their CNA. And the thing is, like you said, like they're older. And you would think like, oh, like why do you just CNA, like you're older? But it's like everyone has a goal to achieve and they're like you're there for the same reason that they're there. You know, everyone's there for the same exact reason. So I think it's really cool that all of you guys kind of were in that positive environment and you guys were all together supporting each other. Like I said, like when you're in a good environment with good people, like you feel good and you want to do more and you want to achieve more. So I think it's really cool that you were able to find self-growth in that process of like the CNA journey.
Yes, definitely. And everyone was just very supportive. Like we didn't get into that program knowing everything, you know. So we were all there to learn. We would laugh at our mistakes and then just learn from there, which was really good because I was really nervous about going into that because I didn't know anybody. Like it was just me. But they're really sweet and supportive and encouraging.
That's good. That's good. And I know we talked about like your self growth journey and like CNA, but like kind of like outside of work and school, like what are some things that you what are some things that you struggled with, whether it's this year or previous months that you find yourself now like overcoming?
Finding things that I like to do, and that will just like open more doors. I'll elaborate on that. Like, you know, just not sticking to my bubble. Going out, finding new hobbies, learning new things that I wouldn't have been curious about, let's say like 2 years ago, that I'm letting myself like go into and find out if I like it or not, honestly. Just trying new things for the sake of trying them. Even if I don't end up liking it, like at least I gave it a try.
Yeah, like putting yourself out there more.
Yeah, putting myself out there. And doing things by myself too.
Yeah.
Because I used to not do anything by myself, and especially try new things. I just always felt like I needed someone else. But I've definitely become more independent in that way.
Oh yeah, and like I feel like people always get a bad like there's like a really bad rap about like doing things by yourself or like being with yourself, and like that's been like a thing that people would say like for such a long time, like, oh, like, you know, like you have to be in a group or like you have to be dependent of someone. But it's like, no, like ultimately like you can't depend on somebody for your own happiness. Like, you know what I mean? Like do things by yourself. Like you'll never learn if you don't try. Like go out and order a coffee by like if you have social anxiety, a lot of people are like very introverted and they can't even go to the drive-thru and order a cup of coffee, and like because that's just they just are not, they haven't released themselves out of their shell, and sometimes it's easier for others and it's harder for others. But I think just taking the first step, because they always say like the hardest step is starting, but I think like you're obviously way past that, and I think just allowing yourself to learn and try and get out of your comfort zone allows you to, you know, flourish as a different person, you know, because it can be scary ordering things by yourself, or it can be a little nerve-wracking when you're the only one at a coffee shop eating by yourself and there's a group of people like next to you having fun and like laughing. You're like, damn, like I wish that was me. But at the same time, like it's so important to be comfortable with yourself, because at the end of the day, like you only have yourself, if we're being completely transparent, you know, because your friends can go travel the world or your mom's going to be somewhere else and whatever. But if you're not able to be comfortable with yourself and like love yourself and accept yourself, you know, it's going to be very hard for you as you get older, you know, because sometimes you're going to end up being lonely at some point. We don't want to, but it's gonna happen regardless. And so it's really a testament to be like, okay, like I'm alone now. How am I gonna be? What am I supposed to do? How am I gonna approach life? Because I had a conversation with a motivational speaker the other day, and he talked about like attitude and behavior. And the reason why I'm saying that is because like you obviously had a good attitude, you know, because like you're out by yourself doing something, or you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm alone, like oh my god, like I'm here. But like instead of you being negative, you found the positive way. Because sometimes like you end up making friends randomly by yourself too, or like you have interactions. You're like, huh. Like if I hadn't gone out today, maybe I would have talked to this really sweet person, or maybe I wouldn't have had somebody compliment me. Like, oh, you know, because you have really interesting interactions with people that they like compliment you, or they say, oh my gosh, like I love this, or oh my gosh, and you guys start bantering. Or there's a moment where you're like, oh, that's so funny, like that happened the other day, like oh, like you know, it's just things like that. So if you're not like trying or putting yourself in situations where you're like, okay, like this is nerve-wracking, but if I don't try, I'll never know. And it's the same thing with attitude, because a lot of people like they look at being alone as like a depressing, boring, lame thing, but it's not, and it shouldn't be viewed that way. Like being to yourself and self-isolation are two different, completely like different things. I feel like people mix those things all the time. Like self-isolation is somebody who stays at home and only wants to stay at home. Like they're isolating themselves from like being social and going out. Whereas someone who's to themselves is basically like, yeah, I'm eating ramen tonight and watching anime, but I'm fine. I'm happy because I like my own comfort. And the reason why I'm mentioning attitude is because there's like the motivation, like the guy I was speaking to last week, he was saying that a lot of people walk life with a really bad attitude. And then, like for example, like they're by themselves. They have a really bad attitude with how they approach life. And he says that there's a reason why people don't get what they want, because they have a bad attitude. And then they have an even more bad attitude because they're like, oh, like this is happening to me, or oh, like this and that. And he was saying that that's not going to get you anywhere in life if you have a bad attitude. And so obviously, like you have a good attitude when it comes to moments like where you feel uncertainty, like, oh, like this is kind of making me a little anxious, or I feel a little anxious, or it's just kind of nerve-wracking. But it's okay, because who knows what's going to happen. It's just having that good attitude, you know. And sometimes like you may not know what's to come or what the outcome is of certain situations, but if you just have a good attitude, like a lot of times the outcome is going to be 99.9% positive. So I think it's really cool that you're finding ways to put yourself out there more, you know, meeting people, you know, experiencing new things. That's really all about life. Like sometimes we have to put ourselves out there and challenge ourselves a little bit and get comfortable with the uncomfortable, whether we like it or not. But the more uncomfortable you are, the more positive things you're going to see in those uncomfortable moments. So
yes, for sure. And I love being by myself sometimes, like out in public, because I just love people watching. I love people watching, and I've definitely noticed that if you're by yourself, you're like more approachable. People will go out of their way to give you compliments or just like ask a question and things like that. If you're like with another friend or with a group of people, no stranger is really going to come up to you unless they're like an advertisement person or something like that. So it's cool to like just have, you know, like innocent, actually not creepy interactions with strangers. So I really like that part about just going out by myself, because people will talk to you.
Yeah. I think it's just also like having those nice interactions with people, because a lot of times like people have like this perception of like, oh, like everyone's creepy and everyone's just, but no, like there's like sometimes you're like, you'll meet people, you're like, huh, like I would have never thought, because sometimes like we assume too quickly. Like you'll see like an older woman, they're like, oh, like, and you have like a really nice conversation. So I think it's really cool that you're working. I would say probably like one of your goals is like trying to work on that more. I think that's really good. And since we're on the topic of like goals, like obviously you've completed school. You got your AA, right? You got your associate's degree. You got your CNA certification. So you kind of like got those goals out of the way. Now you got a couple goals already that you're working on. But I think, what are the next couple of goals, or a goal the next 2 to 3 years that you want to accomplish?
Number one would be having like a side hustle. that just brings me passive income.
Do you know what side hustle?
No. I have a few ideas, but I'm still just like researching on how to, start them up. But definitely have a form of passive income. I would like to be my own boss. I don't have to be, especially in the healthcare field. Like, that's not really possible unless you have like your own office and like your clients and things like that, which is fine. I just would like more time because I don't want to work my whole life. And I don't want to dedicate my life to only working. So definitely that passive income. Travel more when things are less crazy. And spend more time with my family and my friends.
I think those are really good goals, especially like being your own boss, but also like having more time, because I think time is really important in like a lot of things. And the thing is like my mom always tells me this all the time, because she's like, it's good to focus on like being successful, and it's okay, like it's not like bad. It's good to focus on being successful, and it's really important to also like know what you want to do and like love what you do. My mom's at the same time, like time is really important. Like for example, I was just having a conversation with Gaby just now, because my parents have a business, but there's so much time that they're not able to experience, because all their time is being put into the business. You know what I mean? Like instead of like working on it, they're in it so much that they're not able to live the life that they want to live. Like, you know what I mean? So I think it's really important, like how you're saying, like being with family more, traveling, and just like having that time to yourself, because ultimately like you want to be successful, but you also want time, because we're never going to get our time back. If you think about it, like we're almost like, you're almost 22, I'm almost 23. You know what I mean? So it's just like the time flies by so fast.
We're getting to that point.
For real. And it's sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, like just last month I was doing this. And so like it is scary to think about sometimes, because sometimes like I don't know if you have this like thing, but sometimes like I always question myself, like, oh, am I supposed to be doing this, or am I like on the right path? But sometimes I tend to question, like, even though like I'm doing this podcast right now, but I'm like, is this ever gonna take off? Like, am I like supposed to be doing this? But I think it's also just like the I guess you could say like a lot of like noise in my head, because I tend to overthink a lot. But like, you know what I mean? Like I think it's just ultimately like knowing what you want to do, saving the time, and being successful. But I think also like getting out of your head, because I'm assuming like you probably overthink a lot too.
Yeah.
And like
for sure,
we overthink all the time about things, like whether where do you want to go, who do you want to be, if this certification was even worth it, like am I supposed to even be doing this? And so and a lot of times like I find myself doing that when nothing is happening. Like, you know what I mean? Like for example, let's say like I go to the gym for a week and I don't see any results. I'm like, does this even work? But it's because I only went for a week. And that's the problem that a lot of us do. Like we don't see results in like 2 weeks, whether it's school, gym, business, whatever. And then we're like, okay, like this is my actual path, but you didn't even like you didn't even actually give it a full on try. And that's why like we never end up getting to where we want to be in life, because of how many times that we're like, oh, is this my path? And also I had a conversation with Diana talking about social media, because like she was talking about how like she like found her passion for like to be a veterinarian, and how like it took her some time, and like she wasn't in school, and like she found her passion and stuff like that. And she was saying that like a lot of times like social media can be very discouraging, because I have this conversation all the time where people are like, I make 100K a month day trading like every month, and I'm like, bro, like no you don't, like, you know what I'm saying? Like no you don't, you're literally borrowing money. Because I was watching a video where somebody was like, oh, I make $1 million a month, and then someone in the comments was saying, you make $1 million a month because of the course, because people are buying courses. You know what I mean? So if you're selling courses and people are buying it, you make money because someone's buying the course, not because of what you're actually teaching. You know what I mean? So it's just, anyways, I'm not going to get into that whole spiel. But the reason why I'm saying that is because, like, I don't want people to feel discouraged because, oh, like, something's not happening to me, and freaking Sally 59 on Instagram is whatever. And it's just like, you shouldn't give a shit about what people are doing. Like, a lot of times, like, it's not real. And a lot of times, like, they don't show the struggles that they actually went through to get to where they are. They always, like, you know, and a lot of times people that are really flashy on social media, this is just my form of opinion, don't really got it like that. You know what I mean? Like, there's some people that will sit here and say, like, yeah, I have this and that, when it's all rented, bro. Or, like, it's not even real. And the thing is, like, I don't know about you, but I don't want to live my life, like, flexing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want to build things for myself and for my family because I want to help people and my family. And like you said earlier, like your drive is your family. And that's really important because, like, you want to build something not just for yourself, but to share with your family. And so, I don't know, do you feel discouraged sometimes on social media when you see people and you're like, dang, like, they're 18 and they're making, like, all this money?
If I were to pay attention to everything on social media, babes, I should have had a Mercedes, a house with like 5 bedrooms, 7 figures every year, traveling every other month, or maybe even every month at, let's say, 20 years old. That is not, it's really not realistic for the everyday person, nor attainable if you want to have like a personal life. Because there are some social media people that they do show the good and the bad. They're like, stay up late at night, they skip out on family events to focus on, you know, getting their money and all that stuff. And I want to make money to be comfortable. Like, I don't want to be the most rich person in the world because I want that work-life balance. I want to spend time with, like, the people that I love. Like, I'm not gonna put my family aside just to, like, grow my bank account, you know? But I do want to make enough where I can go on a trip or get my mom something really nice, get my family member something really nice, get myself something nice. But it doesn't have to be millions and millions of dollars. Like people are portraying on social media that you have to get to live a happy life.
I like how you said it's not realistic because it's really not. Like, you see people that wake up at like 3 a.m. to do something. I'm like, a lot of people can't do that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not, it's for me, like, it's not sustainable over time. Like, it's all for like the social media. It's all like when the camera clicks on and starts recording, and you're doing all this obnoxious stuff, and it's just like, it's not attainable. Like, it's just not attainable over time. And like what you were saying, like, you need a lot of money to be happy. Like, there's a lot of people, like, for example, I've met people who are zookeepers and they love their life. Zookeepers, people work at the aquarium, gardening, and they live a happy ass life because they don't need all these big fancy like things. They're happy with their nice little house in the middle of nowhere. And they're happy like that. You know, I met people who live on the islands, you know, and they, you know, like, they don't work here, they work remotely, and they make their good amount of money remotely, and they're chilling, you know, they're living by the islands, having fun. People who live in the middle of nowhere, in the forest, and like, they're very, everybody has their own definition of a rich life. And like, because I watched this documentary on Netflix about being rich, and people think being rich is like owning a Lambo, a Corvette, but other people, rich life is like having time, being healthy, getting married, having kids. Like, everybody has their own definition of a rich life. Like, not everything is money, everything is privacy. People don't have privacy. You see celebrities out here, like, they don't have privacy, period, because, like, you know, like, yes, they chose the life where, yes, they have making millions and they're famous, but now they don't have privacy anywhere. Like, privacy is nowhere to be found because they had to sacrifice that. And I've always told my mom that, like, I want to be successful. I want to make millions. I don't want to be like a bajillionaire. I mean, I don't know, maybe. We never know.
But I mean, if they happen, they happen.
Like, I want to make money, a lot of money, to where, like, okay, I'm set for the rest of my life. Like, you know what I mean? Like, not to where, like, I don't want to shoot low. I want to shoot really high because I feel like we're all capable of reaching very high if we think about it. But at the same time, like, I was telling myself I want to be successful, but I want to be very private about my life. Like, I can go to a fucking coffee shop in a ripped jeans and a tank top, and you'll never know that I'm rich. Like, I can look raggedy as hell, and you think I'm, like, homeless or something, but, like, that girl's rich, you know? Or someone's like, oh, I've seen that person before, like, they're rich. But, like, the thing is, you'll never know. And for me, it's, like, I'm not trying to show people that I'm rich.
Yeah.
For me, rich is, like, knowledge. Like, rich is, like, health. Like, you'll know when I'm rich because I'm married to somebody, I have kids, I have a really good health, or I take care of my mindset, or really smart. Like, to me, like, that's rich. And a lot of, like, old, like, wealthy people, like, old money people, I don't know if you see on Instagram where it's, like, old rich and new rich.
Yeah.
Because, like, the old rich, and, like, I've met older, wealthier people, they don't wear name brands, period. Like, they don't wear no Louis, Gucci, freaking Coach, whatever. Like, they don't wear anything like that. They wear, like, their Lacoste shirt. You can barely see the logo. Tommy Hilfiger, you can barely see it. It's, like, some men's, like, warehouse t-shirt. Like, they literally wear jeans, some, like, Converse. Like, they're super casual about it. Or, like, they probably have luxury clothes on, but they don't have any name brand anywhere. Whereas, like, new, like, influencer, new, like, generational, like, where people are very, like, name brand, or very, it's very, like, in your face. They can come out of a restaurant and they wear sunglasses, and I'm like, bro, why are you wearing sunglasses in a restaurant? And, like, they try to, like, show out too much, but it's just, like, you, like, it's fine that you, like, got rich, but at the same time, like, why are you showing some money and being flashy and shiny for who?
Yeah.
You know, because you think that people are staring, but a lot of times, like, people aren't. Like, people are just worried about putting food in their kid's mouth. Like, they don't really care about your leopard coat that you bought, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? So I think, like you said, it's really important that, you know, like, yeah, I want to be successful, but I also want to give back to my family, be with my family, because ultimately, like, that's rich life for a lot of people. You know, you don't need a lot of money. You don't need to have all, like, these crazy ass artifacts. I mean, you could if you want it, it's fine. But, like, all the money that you make in the world will never make you happy. And it's ultimately like that, because a lot of people are very successful and they're rich as hell, but they're depressed, they have health issues, they're sad, heartbroken, they're struggling every day, they're addicts, and it's just like, no matter how much money you have, like, those people are the most, like, broken ones. You know what I mean? And there's people who are successful and they're very happy and they don't really care about their money because they have enough to where they don't really care.
Yeah.
You know? So it's just, yeah. Yeah, I think it's good that you want to take care of your family, because I also want to take care of my family too.
Yeah. I think that's how we're still friends, because we kind of have the same values.
Yes. Yeah.
And goals that we want to achieve. So it kind of just keeps us in check with what we're doing.
For sure. And, like, I think, like, talking about a lot of your struggles, self-growth, and obviously your goals, like, I kind of want to talk about, like, is there, like, any mistakes that you've made in your life that you sometimes think about today? Or there's some mistakes where you're like, okay, I made a mistake, or, like, you know, just kind of thinking about it. Like, was there times where it was really hard for you to get over that? Or did you learn anything from it?
I want to say giving my energy to people that don't care about it. Or giving my energy to things that don't make me happy or benefit me in any way. That's really something I've had to learn over time, because it wasn't just like from morning to night type of change, you know? So that took some time, and it just made me realize I could be doing other stuff that I actually like, or talking with people that actually reciprocate how they feel about me, or that they want my company, you know? And not everybody is gonna like you. That was also another thing that I kind of learned from. I believe I'm a very likable person. Like, a lot of people like me, but I know that some people might feel some type of other way, and that's okay. Like, I wasn't made for everyone to like me, and I don't like everybody either. So yeah, I kind of just reflected on that and just learned to
continue. Sorry, someone was calling me. Give me a second.
Wait, no, that's my train of thought.
Wait, give me a second. Someone's calling me. Okay, continue.
Okay.
Like you don't like people either.
Yeah, I don't like people either. So it's like, how can I be like, is that gonna make noise because I touched it?
No, it's okay. It should be fine.
Okay. Um. Okay. Again, I don't like people either. So how am I gonna be a hypocrite and be like, everybody has to like me? Girl, you don't even like everybody. So that just really made me realize, just to not put my energy into people that don't want it. And it saves me a lot of time and a lot of my breath just to not even deal with that. And also on things that don't make me happy either. Because it all just goes back to time is precious. Time is very, very precious to me because, you know, things can happen, people change, people come and go, and it's very like sad sometimes. Because all the people that come into my life, I want them to like stay there forever, or at least I go first and then you go after. But that's just not how it works. So I just like to soak up every moment with somebody or something that I'm doing. And if it's the opposite, then bye.
Yeah, I mean, like everything is honestly temporary, you know. But I think, as you were mentioning, just kind of like learning from those experiences. Like I feel like you kind of learn a lot of things about yourself that you probably haven't learned in those times. And like I like that you said that like you're not here to like, because the thing is like you're not for everyone, you know. Like you'll know the type of people that you're around with. Like you'll just know like, oh, I feel good around this person. Like this person makes me feel good, and like you'll know like, yeah, like these are my people. But then obviously there's people who are probably envious for probably who knows what reason. People are very judgmental and like they assume very quickly, or people judge a book by its cover a lot, and they don't actually get to know the person before like, you know, they speak to them or anything of the matter. So I think ultimately I always tell everybody that like five friends is better than 100, because like, you know, that those 5 friends are going to be with you for the rest of your life. You know, and I think it's really important to understand like you also don't have to like stoop to anyone's level to like try to get them to accept you. Like don't do that to yourself, because you just look silly doing that. Like don't try to like have somebody like accept you and like you because they said they didn't like you. Now you're trying to do plan A all the way to fucking Z, and you're like, I'm trying to get this person to like me because I want. And it's just like, no, like if they don't like you, they don't like you. It's not your fault. You didn't do anything. I would hope not. You know what I mean? Like you didn't do anything. They just are like that. Yeah. They just didn't give the time to actually get to know you, and that's their fault because they missed out on somebody really cool, and that's just how they are. And sometimes like you also can't convince people. You can pull up with the whole fucking research article and they're still going to be like, yeah, no. Yeah, it's just like, that's just, you can try and persuade, influence, convince somebody. But ultimately, you know the kind of person that you are. And if they can't see it, then that's their fault. You know what I mean? Like you just can't try to fight it with some people. And it's just, I think also it's a sign for you to be like, okay, like, who are the kind of people that I actually want to surround myself with? And then, like, it makes you realize, like, well, I've been looking in the wrong direction. Like, maybe if I go over here, you know? I think it's also why we've been friends for so long. Because, like, Gabby's, like, one of my, like, actual... Because I never had a best friend before. Ever. Like, because I'm 22, and I've never had a best friend before. And, like, obviously, like, I've said, like, oh, but, like, this is my best friend. But they actually weren't. Because best friends... Like, you'll know... like how best friends function, like you'll know like the traits and the behavior of a best friend, because like you'll be like, yeah, like this person's like my actual best friend. But no, yeah, like Gabby's been my best friend for a while now, and like sometimes it's kind of funny because I'll be like, oh, you're my best friend. You know? But sometimes like I find myself like cringing because I'll talk to my friends.
I love it.
And I'll be like, yes, my best friend the other day. You know what I mean? Like I sound like a little kid, but it's because I've never had a best friend before. And it's nice. So I'm like, yeah, like me and my bestie, like, you know. And it feels great because I'm like, oh my gosh, like I have a best friend, because like it took a lot of time for me to actually find like really good friends. But I'm glad it took a long time, because me and Gabby are in it till the day we die. You know what I mean? Like we already seen everything.
We're locked in.
We already know a lot about each other, so it's just like we kind of have to be locked in. No, I'm just joking. But at the same time, like we also like understand each other. I think it's really important to be around people who have the same values as you and that also understand you and that want to understand you. And I think also like Gabby's very honest as well, and I like honest people. I don't like people who beat around the bush. Like, you know, I feel like sometimes I find myself more honest because I'm very like bold. And there's times where I'm conversating with Gaby and Gabby's like, well, I wouldn't have said it like that. And I'm like, no.
Bring you back a little bit.
And I'm like, no, it's actually, and you're like, oh my God. But I think it's just that nice balance. And I think it's really important to like, when you find your friend, like, you'll know like, yeah, like this is my person for life. And so like, honestly, I'm very grateful that me and Gaby are best friends because I wouldn't have it any other way. So.
Yeah. And the first time you called me your best friend, I was like, oh my God, like I feel so touched. Like every time you say that to people, I still haven't gotten used to it, honestly.
Me neither.
Because whenever you say, oh yeah, I told them like you're my best friend and all that stuff, like me being somebody's best friend is like the highest top thing that you could ever tell
me. Like you've made it.
Like I made it, and I just feel so honored to be that for someone. And I just love it so much because I love making relationships with people that are going to be like long term, because I just like longevity. I love that. I love to just build and get to know this one person over time, which definitely helps with an anchor, because if you're getting to know her, you're not gonna find those cues like when she's hungry, when she's sad, when she's mad, when she's being sassy. But I know that because I've known you for a lot of years, and I just picked up on that, on those cues.
Yeah.
So that's also another thing I really like to learn, how people like behave and their attitudes, because I find it like really fascinating, and it just really shows me and the other person and I, my mom will come for me for saying me and the other person. For the other person and I, that I actually value our relationship and I'm putting in the work and the time.
Yeah.
Because I won't do that with everybody.
Yeah. I 100% agree. And I think it's those like friendships that you put a lot of effort and time into, because those are the ones that are going to last for like, very, very, very long. And we're kind of like leading towards the end of our episode, but I wanted to ask you 2 more questions. You've made an impact on my life. What is something that you want to like, I know it's kind of a really deep question, but like some point in life, we're all going to go our separate ways. What is the impact that you want to leave with your time here? Whether it's on people, your career, like what's something that you want to like make an impact on, and why?
That they could just pick up the phone and call me and I'll be there if they need me. You know, like just a helping hand with literally anything, like physically, emotionally. Like I just would like to leave that memory that Gaby was always there for me no matter what.
I love that. And I think also with Gaby too, she's someone that spreads a lot of kindness. I think when you're around a lot of people who are very kind, like, you know what I mean? Like you and Lori, Diana, like everyone's just so kind, you know? It's like nice because I was telling Diana this the other day, like I was telling Diana, like when I am around Diana, I feel at ease. Like, you know what I mean?
I heard it on the podcast.
I feel very calm.
She is very,
because she's very tame and it's just like zen. I'm just like, if I'm ever stressed and I'm next to Diana, I'm just like, like, you know, like next to like a little like warm campfire, like it literally just feels like that. You feel like, oh, this is nice. Yeah. Because like that's just how she is. Lori is very like bubbly energy. Like she's very like always trying to make someone's day. She's always like, okay, let's go here, let's go do this. Like she's like that. And then Gabby's just very genuine and sweet. And sometimes we be laughing over like some like silly ass stuff, and we just like say stuff that are just so out of pocket and funny. But I think I just feel good when I'm around Gaby, Lori, Diana, like all my friends, because I'm like, when you feel good around somebody, like that's a good thing. And I always feel good when I'm around you because I'm like, oh, this feels nice. We get to do something. Or there's times like, oh, I don't feel like doing anything, and you're like, like, let's go here, let's go eat. And then we end up going on a freaking adventure. We don't even know where we're going. But it's nice because your friends are looking out for you and they want the best for you. And I think I've always known that when I started talking to all my friends in our friend group. So, but I love that you want to make an impact on people's lives, especially with like picking up the phone and talking to people. Because a lot of people don't have someone to talk to. A lot of people don't have mom, friend, sister, whatever. So like I like that you're saying like whoever needs advice, whoever wants to hear me talk to them or just wants me to listen to them, like you're always going to be there. I think that's really empowering. And lastly, I know we talked about your whole career journey, student journey, and self-growth journey. What is, I guess you could say, what is something that you, well, actually, let's start with this first. So obviously, like you're working towards being a CNA, right? And what's like some, I guess you could say, career advice for someone that you want to give someone who's starting nursing and just like even balancing school and nursing? Like what's some advice you would give to somebody who's going to be doing that soon?
It's quite hard. Honestly, like any career, but it has its own sets of challenges and different responsibilities. But I'd say if your heart is in it, just keep going because you're not going to be struggling forever. I know it's like, I just want to quit right now. But in the end, it'll be for the best.
Yeah, I love that.
And that's what I keep telling myself. Just to persevere, and then I'll just reap all the benefits at the end.
Yeah, I think it's all about just pushing yourself and like saying like, okay, like it's gonna be so hard right now, but like I know in 5 months I'm gonna be like all the way over here. And if I hadn't done this, I don't think I would be where I am today if I hadn't gone through those things. So I love that you said that. And lastly, like, what is a win that you're really proud of this year? It could be this year, last year, but what are a couple wins that you're like, I'm actually really proud of myself. Like, I feel really good that I've done this.
I've gotten into doing my own nails. So I really am proud of myself for that. And then my friends and family tell me to go do their nails. So I really like that they want me. They don't want to go to a salon. They want me.
Well, that's a business idea.
It is a good business idea. It would be really good, but I'm just not to that point where I want to do it like on strangers yet, because I don't feel like I've reached my full potential of, making the nails first, like the base, and then just the design. Like I can get way, way better. I just need to keep practicing. But that's what I'm doing right now. So I'm proud of that, and it saved a lot of money too.
No, I think that's a good one. I mean, Gaby actually does really good nails. So
yes, I try. And I like it because it's a hobby, creative outlet, and I'm by myself. So I just get time to think and be by myself.
Well, I want to say thank you so much for hopping on the podcast. Finally. We've been like, finally we want to get Gaby on the podcast. But no, I really appreciate your time and being here. I'm also very proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
Very proud of you. And yeah, I'm always rooting for you, and whatever it is that you need, you can always call me, text me. But no, I'm very proud of you, and I'm proud of your journey. I'm excited to see all the things you're going to do this year. I mean, it's 2025, so a lot of opportunity for finding successes and pursuing other things. And I feel like you're going to be very successful this year. So don't doubt it. Just trust it. I know sometimes it may be a little hard, but don't doubt it. Definitely trust it. It's going to be a very good year. And yeah, thank you so much for hopping on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Bye, guys. Oh, sorry. Continue.
I hope to be on here more often.
Yes. We will have you back at some point. But thanks, Gaby. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in. Have a good one. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to today's podcast with our special guest. Please take a moment to rate us 5 stars on Spotify for those who are listening. Subscribe, comment, like, share for anyone that needs this video. It's this kind of support that truly helps us grow and to, of course, reach more young individuals just like yourself who, of course, want to listen to incredible stories that inspire each and every single one of us. Your support truly means the absolute world to us. And as always, don't forget to stay connected, keep thriving. We will catch you on the next episode. Bye, guys.